Good evening from Frankfurt in Germany. I just gotta get to check if I'm on the correct page. So if you are joining me, just say hello. That would be great. Let's see. Yes, I am. Okay. That looks good. Just gonna turn the volume down and then we can carry on. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. My name is Angela Bailey and I am the owner and creative energy of Elfen Helden. And I started on Tuesday on the Dixiewell page a couple of projects. I started a wooden box. And I also started a little side table with a glass top, and I continued the table yesterday on the chalk mineral enthusiast page. You had a chance to win some paint yesterday. I hope you took that chance and participated in that in that draw from Dixiewell. And today I'm going to continue the glass top. Yesterday we painted it. We've done some blending on it. I've got it laying here. It's nice and dry now. And the colors we've used for the glass top is our antebellum blue. It's mermaid tail. It's the middle color, and it's limeade. That green, and that basically turned out like this. And before the prep I've done, because it was a glass top, the prep I've done, obviously I've cleaned it really well, and the reason I wanted to paint the glass top is I've got that table for quite a while now, and as I love my essential oils and diffuser and stuff like that, the glass top, the diffuser was standing on this table, and I didn't have any cover or anything on it. And over the years, the essential oils, when they come down, they grip onto the glass, and so it got blind, and I couldn't clean it off anymore. So I thought I'm going to paint it, and afterwards I'm probably not going to put the diffuser on there anymore. Not without a cover anyway. So whenever you're using something like that, just think about it. Essential oils eventually can grip to the surface they are touching. Okay, guys, that's the best thing to do in the situation at the moment. The world is just mad and not very funny out there. So a lot of us have to stay at home, so I think it's a good idea just to grab the stuff around you and just like make the things around you nice, and just get your mind off all the things happening around. Okay, today I want to put, can you see? Yeah, you can see that probably nicely. That's basically how it turned out with the blending yesterday. I wanted it to be a little cloudy, and I quite like it like that. And today we are going to put a transfer on there, and the transfer is the passion flower, which is a beautiful, hi Connie. It's can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that on the back. That's what it's basically going to look like, but I'm not going to use the whole thing. It's in 4 pieces basically, and I'm going to use like the bottom thing, and the transfers, they're rolled up, they come in like separate sheets, because like one sheet would be too hard to put on the surface in one go. And it has a protective cover on the back, and the transfer itself, it's got like a gluey, it's gluey on the back side. So you can put that on your project. You've got to make sure that it's nice and clean, and obviously when you take the protective sheet off, you have to be careful that it doesn't stick to anything, because otherwise it'll just be stuck and you won't get it off anymore. But what you can do, and that's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to take basically this part I'm going to take, and because it's more a square, when I try to put it on this on the round surface, it's probably not going to be that nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the transfer in apart, because that's what you can do also. And with the transfer also, it's, as I showed you at the beginning, it's going to be delivered in this tube, and it comes with a description how you do it, that's the right way around, how you apply it. And it comes with a little wooden stick, so you can basically rub it on. Yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to use the wooden stick today, because Prima Redesign also does a transfer tube, which is this one. And today I'm going to try this one out. So I'm going to open it up and see. It's from plastic. Oh, it's made of plastic. Let's see. I haven't laid my hand on it yet. Floor. That's on the floor. And the nice thing is, you know, you can see you can hold it nicely in your hand, and it's got like two sides. It's got like one wider side. You can scrub on like the bigger parts, and it's got like a smaller side for the smaller parts, and you can go nicely into the corners with this edges and stuff like that. And there's like some sharp edges you can see here, where you can really push it into corners and stuff like that, and more like rounded edges. So basically you can, when you have like a project which is not flat or something like that, so you can still use it. So the piece I'm not using, I'm going to put it back into the tube, because I don't want anything to stick to it. I'm going to use that for another time. Stick it there. I've got also from Dixie Belle the finishing pad. This is basically to, you're going to see when I put it on. It's got like, when you put it on, there's like, you can see a little the edges, and with this, you can just like varnish it in, you know, so it's like, really you scrub it in, so it's really adhering very, very well. Okay guys, let's get started. I am firstly cutting the writing out, because that's what I wanna, I'm gonna put my glasses on, otherwise I won't see. So you can cut that in as many pieces as you like, which is the nice thing. Just make sure that you keep the protecting cover on it, otherwise, because that's really, really sticky, and if it touches something else, it's just going to stick to it, even to your fingers or something like that, and that's then probably going to be ruined. And we don't want that. All the products I've been using on this project, you can also find with Dixie Belle, basically, when you are in the US. And you can also check on the Dixie Belle page for your local retailer. And if you haven't got a local retailer over here in Europe, feel free to contact me. I deliver throughout Europe, and I'd be happy to help you. And even if you have some questions, just put your questions in the comments. Leave them in the comments. You can leave them in English or in German. So I'm going to have the writing in the middle. Can you? Yes, you can see. I'm going to put this part basically in the middle. I'm just going to eyeball it. This is not about perfection. So I think that's pretty good like this. I'm first going to start with this part. And when you take your cover off, okay, that's where I want to have it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about fine there. You push it on, and then I'm getting the transfer tool, and then I'm going to rub it on. I'm going to be a bit careful on the edges because obviously I don't want to rub onto the paint. And what you do is rubbing it on like this, the transfer is going to basically be pushed off the backing here. What you can see, the shiny piece here is the backing. And hi Vaklina. Hi, hello to Denmark. Well, I hope I'm spelling your name right. Is it Vaklina? I'm not quite sure because I don't speak Danish, but thank you for popping in. That's nice. I've seen your project. I really, really like it. It's pretty. So, you rub it on there nicely, and you can tell that it's getting off the backing. When it gets a little muddy, then you can tell that it's leaving the backing, and you can basically, and it's transferred onto your project. And it's very important that you rub it on there really, really hard so it gets good contact. Big for the small thing. You need a bit of elbow grease for that, but at the end it's going to look very, very nice. And they come in loads of different motifs and stuff like that. So it's basically if you like steampunk, or if you like roses, or writings, or whatever. They do loads of pretty transfers. Slowly coming off. Can you see that here? I'm just going to show that. I'm just going to hold that up. If you, I don't know if you can see it. If you look here at the R, it's getting a little muddy, and that's basically when the transfer is leaving the backing and is transferred onto the project. And as I said, it needs a little elbow grease, but at the end it's going to be very, very nice. I have to be a bit careful because I've cut it out and I don't want to get onto the paint. And basically I'm thinking if there is any further protection I could use. I should have kept the cover from my last transfer. When you do small things like that, and you don't have to be that careful, you know, if you have like a bigger piece over it. And but anyhow, it's going to work. It's going to work. Just see. Okay, it's already transferring. All right. It is already transferring. Very, very nice. Have you guys worked with transfers from Prima? And guys, I will be on next Tuesday. I will be on, firstly on the chalk mineral paint enthusiast page again, where you'll have a chance to win some paint, and afterwards I will be on the Dixie Belle page, so that's what's going to happen on Tuesday. So the nice thing is, on the chalk mineral paint enthusiast page, the giveaways Dixie Belle is doing there is also for the for my European friends. It's not only for the US people. So I think I'll have to mention that again. Just let me see if there is. And if there is a piece not transferred correctly, you can put it back down and just continue rubbing. Gotta go to the bottom here a bit. Continue rubbing. That's the reason you should always lift it up very careful, because when you notice that even when it breaks a little bit, because it doesn't stick to the underground, you can put it back down, and so, but that's on there. That's the first part. You can see, I don't know, can you see that? There is like a little ghosting around the edges, and we're going to varnish that out with the finishing pad later on. So that's the first. Now we have to freeze the, yeah, careful. So we line that up now. When you lay it down carefully, you can reposition it a little bit, but that's fine like that. And I'm gonna do it like this. Now I have a second piece where I basically can protect it a little more. I don't have to be that careful with rubbing. And it's very important that it has a good adhesion, that you really varnish it in later on after you've put it on, because otherwise it might be that it lifts back up, and we don't want that. And also over the transfer, you can later on, you can paint over it, you can put wax on it, and you can just treat it like a painted thing. The only thing you should consider, don't put it on wax. It wouldn't hold on wax unless the wax has really cured a very long time and is totally soaked in. But over paint, obviously it's no problem. You can put it on glass. It sticks on glass just like very easily, obviously. See. Here. So you can train your muscles with that. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them for you. And you can rub really hard. This backing is pretty tough, so it's good to use. And as I just noticed, it's always a good idea to keep some of those pieces, of those leftover pieces, so when you have cut out like this, so you don't have to be too careful rubbing on it. You can protect it a little more around the edges than from the cut piece. So that it's not, let me just see if that came off. Just lift it up careful. That looks, you see there's a little bit of lifting there on the bottom of the eye. So gonna rub on there a little. smushed on there. Okay. Now it's nicely down. Nicely done. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. So we have the free spirit. What do you think? Do you like it? That's the first part, and now I'm going to think how I'm going to put the rest on there. I'm going to cut out. I need to cut it out. I think I'm just going to put it on there like this. So for those who tuned in later, just tell me where you're watching from. And today we are putting on some transfers, and I'm not going to put it on in whole. I'm going to cut it apart to where I like it, because that's what you can do with the transfers also. You don't have to put them on in one piece. You just should look after that the protection sheet is still on the back. And also with your pieces you put into the side that it stays on the back, because otherwise you have and you can always afterwards go over the edges with some wax or even some paint or something like that to blend it in if you wanted to do that. So now it's going to be handy that I have a couple of these protective sheets left. And this is gonna go somewhere else. Take it off now. As I said, be careful that you don't touch, because it's the sticky on the back side, and if you touch it, it's going to stick to your finger. It's just going to stick to everything. You can also layer it on top of the other transfer if you want to. That's what you also can do. There. I want it there. Put it down, press it on, and then you come in with your tool, transfer tool. That's also from Rhinestonedesign. Oh, hi Dana. Oh, I don't know. Maybe you have to press the bell that you want to get informed when I get on. But nice to see you. How are you, darling? How are things over there? So over here by now it's like all the shops are closed apart from the post office, the pharmacies, obviously the food stores, they are all open. And so I'm gonna put that's basically the protective sheet, which was on the back side of the transfer, where it's adhering to before it transfers onto your project. And I'm going to use that because I've cut pretty close to the corners of the transfer, and I don't want to ruin the paint underneath, because you've got to rub really hard to get a nice adhesion from the transfer to your project. So go over it, and with this tool you have a nice grip to it, which is really, really good, and you can push it on there really, really good. Oh yeah, well, I heard it in the news. I mean, this is just a nightmare. I mean, Italy is really hit really, really bad. So you just look after yourself, darling. That's a complete nightmare. I'm keeping myself just busy like mad. I was at the shop the whole day. I mean, obviously not only because there's no customers there's not no work. It's like the season is just starting for me, so I was very, very busy getting the shop organized, and I was cleaning out corners and stuff like that. I'm just trying to, not to ignore the situation, but trying to keep myself busy, not to think about the problems around it too much. And my heart goes out to everybody who's affected or infected or whatever. I mean, this is just terrible what's happening around there. So guys, this is my message to you. Just stay healthy and just look after yourself and be careful. You see, there's didn't adhere. So I'm going to put it back down, and I'm going to rub it a little more. And okay, that looks better. That looks better. So with those transfers, you really got to see that it's supposed to last. Should really stick well to it. Let's see again. Lift it up carefully. There's another part here, and it broke it a little. It broke off the flower. Let's see if I can show you. It broke off the flower there. Can you see that? Which way do I turn it? It broke off the flower there, and but if I put it back down, I can rub it nicely on. So that's the reason you should take it off very, very careful. Use your elbow grease. Push it on there nice and hard. Protection here. And as I said, it's a nice thing about those transfers, they're beautiful in the whole piece, but I always like to break them apart, because that makes it then look different to, dropping the paint. It makes it look different to other projects from other people, and that's what it is about. When you paint, you want to be a little different. And those are let's see, that looks good. And obviously the top is going to be there it is again. Piece broke off. Put it over it again. Rub again. It's no point in being impatient with it. gotta be patient. If you're impatient, you just rip it apart, and that'll be a shame. So obviously this is around the sides. Going to lift that up. You see that? This is basically how thin that is. There's like this part which was hanging over the edge, and I'm just going to basically take that down now with the transfer tool. I'm just cutting it off, basically putting it around the edges. And you could, when it's still, oh, you see, you know, it sticks to your fingers, and it just like rips apart. It's so fine, because otherwise you could maybe put it on another edge, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm trying not to have it on my fingers. Okay, got it off. It's very sticky, very sticky. But you know, it's with most of the things, you know, it sticks to just anything. You see? Do you like it? Do you like the colors? I love those blue colors. They're just pretty. So let's see. We have some bit of writing. We still have a butterfly up here and a butterfly at the bottom, and I'm going to see where I put those. Firstly, I'm gonna have like on the other side also. I'm going to cut it here for now. As I said, you can come in later on and put some wax on it, or you can blend the edges in with paint also. That works really, really good. I'm just going to cut it out, and then we'll see which part I'm going to take. It's a bit wobbly now. Just make sure that it doesn't touch the backing stays on, and it doesn't touch anything else. Okay. Drop paint comes just handy to put it down on there. And let me think. Something like this. Something like that. Something like up here. Yep, something like up here. I want to have it. If you have any questions, guys, just leave it in the comments. Again, this is like the sticky side. Don't touch it with your fingers. It's going to stick to your fingers, and you just pull the protective sheet off on the back side. And there's, again, it is still adhered to the other protective sheet, and then I'm gonna So then you just press it on. You come in with your, as I said, it comes with this wooden stick, which works really good also. You know, this comes with the transfers, and you basically do the same thing. You know, you just rub on there to again. I'm going to use this to protect, because when you cut it out, obviously there's not much of this protective plastic left, and when you rub on the paint, obviously with such a strength, you're going to scrape the paint off, because it's like when you rub that hard, you know, no paint is gonna hold. It's not that you can scrape the paint off, you know. It is nicely on there, but when you use a wooden stick or something like that, you're going to scratch it. Dixie Belle paint, by the way, when you put it on, it totally cures within 30 days. And during this 30 days, you should avoid, like, you know, using the surface too hard. And after that, it's just like rock solid, you know, nothing is gonna happen. But it's going to need this time to really harden completely through. And then you cut the transfers apart like this. And firstly, this was like more like a square, which I didn't thought it you know, you can make it look nice. It probably would have looked nice, but I'd like to spread it out a little more over the whole surface. That's the reason I've cut it apart. So I'm gonna rub it a little quicker, get it finished with you guys. Oops, you see? Always when you're in a rush, you're about to ruin your projects. So do as I say, not as I do. Just be patient with all your projects and don't rush. And when you put the transfers on, I thought about doing it yesterday after the other live, but then I basically decided that I wanted to have the paint almost out of paint, sweetheart. Then well, the shipping still works. I don't know how it is in Italy, but the shipping still works. So I'm getting orders in and I'm checking if they arrive. They do, even in the foreign countries at the moment. So there is one thing which is still working, which is good for all the people who have to stay at home. At least they can do some nice projects and yeah, basically, I already said, you know, when this whole thing is over, just like my whole apartment is probably going to look like a complete rainbow, because I'm just going to paint everything which is in here. Now is the time. And that's basically what I can just like say to you, you know, just keep your mind off all those things happening around and just go around your house and see what you can do. Did you know that you can use the chalk mineral paints also on tiles and on floorings and stuff like that? That also works. And on tiles, you basically do the same thing what I've done on this glass top. To prepare it, you put some slick stick underneath, which is a base coat also from Dixie Belle. And slick stick basically it's a bonding primer. It's water based. It's not VOC free like the chalk mineral paints. Obviously, at one point it's got their limits. So when you use slick stick inside, you should use it in a well-ventilated area. You should have the windows open and stuff like that. And you shouldn't have that, give that to your kids or something like that, obviously. But this is the slick stick is a bonding primer, so the paint adheres really well to slick surfaces like this. This was a glass top. I've used it on, and when you paint on tiles or something like that, kitchen tiles, bathroom tiles, you can use slick stick beforehand. So I'm gonna get under the plastic and now see, where do I start? Come up. If I've got it, there's still a spot, not down. Now it's down. Lift it up carefully to make sure everything is stuck, and if it's not, you just come back in and you keep rubbing till it adheres a little better. Same down here. That's not completely down. I'm going to get this on here. As I said, normally there is enough space around when you have to rub it on, but because I obviously cut that out, I've cut that out pretty closely to the motif, so that can happen. I'm gonna do it so that you can see. There I can see a little spot which is not coming down, but this is basically one of those rustic spots. But if you can save it, we paid for it. I want to have it there. And you can see that it lifts nicely up. As when you pop on, just let me know where you're watching from. That'll be great. I'd like to see that. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. Okay, I think, yes, that's it. This around the corners. So, before it gets too long, we're already on here for 45 minutes. I just wanted to show you. You can see the ghosting areas around the edges of the surface, you know, of this transfers, like those ghosting edges, and those ones I'm going to get rid of with this finishing pad. This is just like a foamy pad, and also you can cut this in pieces. That's what I'm going to do because this is just too big. I like to work with smaller. You can just cut it with a scissor. So that's, and then what you do, you just rub on there really, 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 really hard. Again, just to go around those edges. And then you can, this step is really important because otherwise that transfer will eventually lift up on you, and that's not what we want to have. Just go over the whole transfer. Oh yeah, I'm dropping everything from the table. I've got all my supplies on here. That's how you do it. And again, take yourself time, make sure you're going over every corner. And you can also, if you want to, you could distress the transfer also, you know, you can use some sanding paper and just distress the edges, you know, if you have like edges like this one here, for example, you know, where you can see it's cut off here on this side. You can use some sandpaper and distress it so you don't see it anymore. Hallo Anja. Nee, das war auf der Chalk Mineral Paint Enthusiast Gruppe, wie ich geschrieben hatte. Da nicht auf meiner Seite, sondern das ist eine Dixie-Bell-Seite. Da solltest du halt einfach mal gucken. Dixie-Bell hatte ich dann bestimmt auch schon angeschrieben. Die haben unterschiedliche Gruppen, denen du dann vielleicht auch beitreten solltest, wenn du Retailer bist, dass du halt die Informationen oder alle Informationen so bekommst, die da unterwegs sind. Und die Chalk Mineral Paint Enthusiast ist auch eine Seite von Dixie-Bell. Und wenn du die natürlich nicht abonniert hast, dann bekommst du auch keine Info, dass ich live bin. Das ist das Problem. Aber wie gesagt, das war nicht von meiner Seite, sondern das war halt auf der Dixie-Bell-Seite oder in dieser Gruppe von Dixie-Bell. Und der musste halt beitreten. So, okay guys. This is basically what you do with your transfers. And this finishing pad is just amazing, you know, because it works really, really well. Basically you varnish it in till this shadowing around is gone. Because that's then the sign that the transfer has adhered really, really good to that piece. You can go in different direction to make sure it's really on there. And that's all the secret to it. And as I said, afterwards you can put some top coat on there. You can put some wax on there, you can distress it, whatever you want to do. It's just don't put any wax or anything underneath, you know, don't put wax on your project and then put the transfer on. That's okay. Ja, weiß ich nicht, nee, also das war, ich habe es dann auch noch in der Eurogroup danach geteilt. Keine Ahnung. Aber Facebook ist manchmal ein bisschen strange. Das ist nicht immer so vorherzusehen, wie die sich verhalten. Nee, aber ich war gestern Abend um 7, wo die Lives praktisch da haben, war ich auf der Seite gewesen. Ich war auf der richtigen Seite. Ich meine, es kann auch schon mal passieren, dass ich auf der falschen Seite bin, aber das war definitiv dort. So. Okay, guys. Under 50 minutes. I think that's enough. You've got the idea how to work with it, and you've got the idea how it's going to look at the end. I'm just going to show you basically that this ghosting is now almost gone. I'm gonna go over it a little more, but the ghosting is like almost gone, which is basically the sign that it's adhered nicely to your project. I shall finish that off then on my own, and I will get you the pictures on. I get you the pictures on there later when it's finished, the top. I still got to do the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to go to Marburg tomorrow, and I'm probably going to take it with me. I'm always like traveling with half of my paint and stuff like that. I still have to do the bottom. I slick stick it also, and I'm going to see it. I wanted to do some sort of copper, and I'm trying to mix something out of the Dixie Belle Metallics, but I haven't found basically the right mixture yet, so I'm still witching around it. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you popped on later, we've done a transfer on a glass tabletop, which was slick sticked and painted, and today I put the transfer on. It's going to be on there later, so you can watch the replay if you want to. And if you watch the replay, just leave me in the comments where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, just write it in there. I shall answer them then for you. If you haven't done it yet, please go over to my page, or you actually, when you're watching this video, you are on my page today. I'm a bit confused. Leave me a like there so you get informed when I'm doing my videos on my page. So I really appreciate that, especially at times at the moment. That's very important to have support from the people around, to be able to carry on doing like projects and showing people and stuff like that, so that you maybe get inspired. And if you have to stay at home, just look around what you want to change, and just like grab your brushes and grab your paint and just like get your mind off this madness out there in the world. Guys, please, please, please stay safe, look after yourself, and well, do as they say. Please stay at home, don't go outside and do partying and stuff like that. Some people are just, I'm sorry, they're just so stupid. You know, don't only think about yourself. You know, I'm not worried about myself. I am healthy. But there's like a lot of people out there who are not, you know. They might be our age, you know. They're not in the critical age, but they might have cancer or some sort of illness which makes them at high risk for this virus which is going around at the moment. So please, guys, look after yourself, look after your loved ones, and stay healthy. And I'll let you know when I be on the next time. Until then, you look after yourself. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.